2,453. 2,453.
Quality vitamins, sports nutrition, and more. Now through April 14th, save on tons of items, including
So my experience with landowners is that they understand that there are implications for tax money.
Healthy Planet. Serving you safely in-store, curbside, and online at healthyplanetcanada.com. Live life healthy.
And financial.
But Capital Direct allows you to manage your tuition or taking care of tuition. It's the smart move that allows you to take only what you need when you want it. Whether you could use $50,000 or $1.5 million, that cash is available to you. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL. Now, 6 City News regional weather conditions for Hickory Dickory Decks, celebrating over 30 years of custom decks and happy. Decking. Enjoy life outdoors. Visit decks.ca.
If you're making your way towards the city from Cottage Country in Barrie, we have overcast skies, 3 degrees. As you make your way further south to Bradford, overcast and 4. In Richmond Hill, similar conditions and temperatures, and the same really goes for both Brampton and Pickering. Just taking a look further to the west here, Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo area, also seeing some cloudy conditions, and it feels like 4.
Hear all the fuck
right
up
now
these
in
guys
downtown
are
Toronto,
making.
we have cloudy conditions as well, and it feels like 5.
Everyone's switching from all-season tires to summer tires. Right. The ship can't move because the canal is blocked by a vessel. The ship can't move because it's blocked in by a vessel. Right. What was the third one? Today is Earth Hour. No, stupid. Earth Hour is today.
Some welcome news in the fight against COVID-19. Starting today, younger seniors in Toronto can book an appointment for a vaccine. The sanctions war picks up. China retaliating this morning, imposing sanctions against individuals in Canada and in the U.S. 2 police officers are in hospital after stopping a bank robbery in Etobicoke. 2 suspects have been arrested.
Preparing for a pandemic Passover. We're looking at some alternatives ahead of the first night of the high holiday.
See what they do there? Because all there is Easter and whatever the fuck you're celebrating.
Canada's biggest real estate agencies of YC. A bit of a downturn maybe coming.
You can't speak Mohawk. Keep your fucking mouth shut on my fucking land. How about that? Oh, who's getting racist? So this apparently works quite well. Oh, that's a little too bright. That's actually the slower setting, man.
Looks like we have a collision blocking the right lane, so that's causing
it looks like a burst of 5, but you can't see it as a burst.
The right lane is blocked. Westbound 401 at Jane, the express to collector transfers are closed for construction. Westbound 407 ramp to westbound 401.
This is going to piss off the Saudis.
Well. Otherwise, fairly decent drive on our major routes. 404 DDP looks good both directions. Not seeing any issues along the Gardner. The QEW also moving well.
The problem is we got that from the Chinese, and they're using it to buy Iranian oil.
Directions this weekend between Bedford and Avenue. That's for crane hoisting. Located in a prime downtown location along Yonge Street with direct access to the subway. The Gloucester on Yonge is Concord's latest condo project. Visit thegloucesteronyoung.com for more info. Your next report's coming up at 11:11 with the forecast. Denise Andriacci. Well, it's 5 degrees downtown under mainly cloudy.
So remember, I live in a fire trap with the flue effect, the chimney stack effect. The entire outside of the building is coated in styrofoam. They're now piling garbage. They got a barrel, a 55-gallon drum against the wall, stuffed full of garbage. Oh yeah, that'll light the whole fucking building up. And all that styrofoam, which releases cyanide, is going to come in through the windows.
Your guaranteed
We
high for
got
today,
everything
9
in the building
degrees.
hooked up backwards. I'm just going to start every video with that. Lansdowne Property Management, Vincenzo Barrazzo. You old cocksucker. You're going to drop dead. You keep trying to hurt me.
of the city's mass vaccination centers.
Yeah, but you don't understand. So you do things as a bloodline. So do I.
Over the 2,000 mark.
Hey, well, you were 79 the last time I checked. What are you gonna do, stupid?
Carl, another 2,450
Sell the building?
cases are being
You've never taken me to court, have you?
35 of those variants of concern.
As opposed to the variants that are not concerning.
14 new cases. Peel reporting 411.
We're not concerned with those ones. They're only making niggers sick.
263. Now, as of last night, 1.9 million doses of the vaccine have been administered throughout Ontario. Here's Toronto Mayor John Tory.
We've worked with the province of Ontario to lower the eligible age limit at our mass.
People that have had organ transplants aren't protected by these vaccines. Wow, really?
Metro Toronto Convention Center, Toronto Congress Center, Scarborough.
You don't know. When you get an organ transplant, they typically give you something with medications that suppress your immune system, so your body doesn't kill the organ that doesn't, the DNA doesn't match. Your body will try to kill that because your immune system isn't managed up here. It's managed on a independent level by each cell. It says, what the fuck is this? And tries to kill it. So they give you medication that suppresses your immune system, kind of like they do for HIV. Not the exact same situation, but it's a similar problem. And then you're trying to boost their immune system while you're giving them immunosuppression drugs. You're fucking smart, eh? We'll give them a second and a third dose. Well, you're still fucking stupid.
Targeted to specific individuals and entities, including a foreign affairs critic, MP Michael Chong. Stay with 680 News for the latest.
The police are now stating they have every right to go through Meng Wanzhou's stuff because it was seized during her arrest. Here's the problem. You were arresting her for extradition treaty, which in and of itself is illegal. There was no crime or probable cause to check her electronic devices, and you waited a period of time. They're trying to wrap it all up in one warrant. It's not a typical warrant, it's an extradition order.
People over. That's where the problem starts. If you start having parties out, at your house and so on and so forth.
Some frontline healthcare workers, like critical care physician Dr. Michael Warner, is fearful he and other physicians.
Oh, and by the way, that right there is another example of an infrared light. It's always on.
There's a real possibility that every hospital in the province has been asked to learn how to use it.
Health Minister Christine Elliott said one of the reasons physicians haven't had to use those forms is because the province has increased capacity across the entire hospital system by 3,100 beds.
Which forms? You have an increased capacity. You put more beds in each room.
Red hot in the GTA, as 680's Richard Southern tells us a lot of it.
The hospital has 50 beds in a storage area. That counts towards their capacity. St. Joseph's Hospital, the entire 5th floor north side, the hallway is just storage.
Simply because they haven't yet been able to secure the necessary patio furniture. And the big home improvement retailers confirm.
Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. Hey, remember when you did the reno on the psych ward? You spent $10 million, didn't tell us till afterwards? No. But you want me to tell the community how good my stay there was, eh?
Staying home. I'm Richard Southern.
Bastards know I'm fucking starving to death. They'll buy me a coffee, but not a muffin. The coffee's $2, the muffin's $1. Are you fucking serious?
We get the details from 680's Enrique Amaturo.
This is the logic of these people.
One arrested inside the bank, the second fled the scene and was
I hope you get infections and die. I hope you get hepatitis.
7 Friday night for reports of a holdup at a Mimico bank. The plainclothes officers responded.
They were actually dealing with another investigation in the area.
She was actually correct. Plain clothes. She's right.
An altercation happened inside.
All these years, I never noticed. They always say plain clothes. It's plain clothes. She's right.
One sustained stab wounds and the second has cuts from a knife. Toronto police say the two suspects are believed
You're
to be
fucking
responsible
dumb.
for multiple robberies in Etobicoke. Officers say they are not looking for any other suspects, but anyone with information or video footage from the area is asked to contact police.
What's that mean?
I'm Enrique Amaturo. A shooting in Oakville has left a woman in hospital, and police are searching for suspects. It happened just before 3 o'clock this morning in the residential neighborhood of the Greenery and 6th Line. Halton Regional Police say the victim was rushed to a trauma center in State stable condition. Her identity has yet to be released. Investigators have also yet to provide a suspect description, but add there is no threat to public safety.
This is 680 News. The Blue Jays are heading towards opening day with some questions
Oh,
still
look at
to
all
be
those
answered.
blueberries. They all sank to the bottom, man.
Takes a look at final
Oh,
preparations for the boys of
here's the
summer.
problem. She's an Anglophone and doesn't even pretend to speak French. It's COVID, you fucking piece of shit.
Confirmed that a Stungeon KREW will be the team's opening day starter for the second consecutive season. The first Jays pitcher to accomplish the feat since R.A. Dickey did it back in 2013 and 2014.
Hold on. That's high school French. It's not real. It's not real. It's not how French sounds. I know your high school French teacher told you that. He also told you to suck his dick, and you did it.
And when will Nate Pearson return from his groin injury? So we'll see how the last few days of spring training pan out. The team faces the Yankees today. You can watch that at 1 on Sportsnet.
See that French accent?
Tomorrow and the Phillies Monday before battling the Yankees April 1st.
St. Tobin? Oh, I'm sorry.
Movement is an annual event ahead of the more well-known Earth Day. This year, both global movements outside of individual households will remain virtual in adherence to the COVID-19
Earth
health and
Hour
safety
was always virtual. Always. You stay home and you turn off the lights for 1 hour. You know what that does? They can't idle. There's no idling a nuclear plant. There's no shutting it off. You know what happens? All that electricity gets turned to heat and pumped right into the atmosphere, or in the case of Ontario, it goes over the border at a subsidized rate of 2 cents per kilowatt instead of the 8 that we pay for New York State. Yeah. Doesn't save anything. That's why I keep saying saving. There's no saving anything. And I think it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki said you'll never get rich saving. I think it was him that said that, but you'll never get rich saving. No, you won't. If I save a bit of my dinner for breakfast, I don't have any extra food in the morning. There's no extra food. Oh, that got my bitch note the way fast? Wow, that worked.
Now, the 60 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will rise 1 cent at midnight to just under $1.22 a liter at most GTA stations. Your
I know I keep measuring this compulsively. I just can't figure it out. 3 1/4, 3 1/4. The fence post internally 3 1/4. That doesn't make sense. Why?
We don't see many people, just a few neighbors and close friends. It's fine. We wear a mask and everything. We're really careful.
Excuses won't stop the spread of the
Fucking cops. You thought you wouldn't get fucking attacked by somebody who's taking it to the point of robbing a bank? If they're using a weapon, not the threat of a weapon. If they're in possession of a weapon when they do it, the threat notwithstanding aside all that, they will kill anything that gets between them and the door. If they've gone to the point of, I'm going to rob this bank, and they have an actual weapon, and you get in the way, dumbass. I hope you fucking caught hepatitis, bro. I hope you caught an E. coli infection from your PSW, who molests you the entire time you're unconscious. And I hope that to amputate one of your legs up here and the other one down here. You have to have 2 separate sets of specialists who adjust that shit now, bro. Fuck you. Hey, the last bank robber, you said the kid was black. His skin is paler than mine. You can see his eyebrows. Oh, he's black! Whitest kid you ever see. He's Afro. But his skin is so fucking pale. Who are you to say he's black? How come this is not Afro-Dutch then? Why? How can you make those distinctions if you're not from that part of the world?
You want to keep in mind, off Major Routes, Bloor closed at Bedford to Avenue, and that is
Of course, he's taking down young offenders, robbing banks. Hey, there's no money in banks.
Program experts attend interactive sessions and take virtual campus tours.
You didn't know that? You watched too many movies.
On April 17th from 8 a.m. to 1 1 p.m. Your next report is coming up at 11:21.
There are 2.4 billion Sacagawea $1 coins sitting in vaults. The paper's real.
It's a dry day today.
It's cotton, by the way.
Very much sunshine tonight. The rain moves in, and we'll have rain.
There's no less paper. We say paper. Remember, you don't put it in the washing machine. Why? I want to wash all the blood off it.
Monday, we start off a little bit cool, but we'll be seasonal with some sunny and cloud throughout the afternoon. Right now, it's 5 degrees downtown. The guaranteed high 9.
680 News Time, 11:13.
It's one of the most important
Are
holidays.
they playing any Muslim music?
The first night of Passover begins at sunset tonight, but there.
Blood all over my floor. I don't give a fuck. You're pretending to be persecuted and minorities. I've been hearing this all fucking morning. I don't hear no Ramadan music. For 2 fucking weeks, I've been hearing about Easter and Passover. Oh, it's also Ramadan. Go check the advertisement. Every keyword I used, what do you get? A link directly to canada.gc.ca COVID, which is factual, at least, the link and what it leads to. Oh, good. Hey, it's the United Nations radio is still on. It's not on. I was listening to that, sort of. Well, your made-up fucking system came after their made-up system, so eat shit. Oh, you don't like that? Ashes? You don't like that? Ashes to ashes and dust to dust, right?
Scientists in like a basement.
You're all worm
Whole
food.
world
You're all worm food.
working on this. All of the smartest.
Except in Canada, we're not worm food because there's no worms here.
That work in this field, working on this.
You
To
can
me,
look
it's
that
no
up. They
surprise
insist.
that as humans, we were able to do this. That's
So all
what
the
makes
Burma
us. We're all
culture and
animals,
do-
but that's what makes
Yeah,
us
leading
more
edge.
special than other animals, right? Like the fact that we have the ability to do something like this. We had a crisis. The right people came
15,
together
15 o'clock.
and created something that, at the very least,
See
it's
that?
not like
That's-
it prevents it,
that's real.
but it minimizes the risk of serious illness. It gives you an early
doesn't.
immune response, and that's also what
An
will happen.
early
Even if you're not a
immune
high risk
response.
group and you were never going to have a severe illness, that bug gets inside your body. Your immune system attacks it. It
That
kills it.
bug.
It prevents mutation. It's also about stopping
Prevents
this.
mutation.
That's the other
Hardly.
thing.
Vaccinating is what
So
will
that's my
cause
2
more
cents on all of
mutations.
this. I do genuinely think
For a
if
bunch
people
of
can get it
reasons. You are now
and it makes sense for
asymptomatically
them
sick.
based on their current
Your
health.
body can almost
that
fight
they
off
should get
all of it. So what's left?
Well,
The
to your
mutated
point,
versions.
there's so many
Right.
things we could talk about when it comes to this, this
And
vaccine.
you're
this
giving a
virus.
whole
But
bunch of
weeks
people
ago, I was
1/10
chatting
of the
with the
dose or
co-founder of
1/100th of the
Moderna,
dose or
absolutely
whatever. No,
brilliant
it's
guy,
not
Canadian
half
guy.
the dose.
And
The second dose
he
doesn't
broke
give
down
you
how the virus,
half.
or at least how the vaccine, as
It's
far
like
as
10 to
Moderna
1
came
according
about.
to
And
Fauci.
this wasn't
And
the I was like, how
understanding
did this
what I
thing get
do
made so
understand,
fast? I don't trust
it's
it. They're going
not
to
a
track me,
1-to-1
like you said.
ratio.
He's like, no,
It's
no,
an
this the
exponential
Moderna
difference.
virus, and
You just say Moderna virus? What did you just say?
years with stem cell research. This just happened.
Yeah, they've been working on this technology for like 30 years.
Stem
Yeah,
cells
they said, you guys might
is
just
not a
retool your
technology.
shop for a sec. We got a virus here we want to try to beat. Oh, okay. So that's what it was based on. This isn't
And,
fresh
yeah.
ideals and some witchcraft. This
No.
is stuff that was already in the
No.
works for another purpose. So that's why it came about so
No,
fast.
it was for that. But wow, genetics. All of genetics kills this virus. Kills the virus. No, you don't understand what you're talking about at all. You don't understand any of the concepts you're talking about. I'm not even breaking that one down. No, that was dumb. What he just said is dumb. What I was about to say was they're all still making those Freudian slips. Get your COVID dose. Get 2 doses of the COVID virus, the vaccine. Right. They're making the same slips over and over. It's like a game these people play. Let's see how much bullshit I can say today. You're useless. You're useless. You're fucking useless. You all look to yourselves as though you're Winston Churchill. You know what I know about that? He didn't do those radio broadcasts. No, once the rumor comes out, you know he didn't do them. So they would have been able to triangulate where the fuck he was. It would have taken like 6 different sets of knowledge. Like, where's the transmitter? Where's the wire? Eventually you lead to where he is and in the recording room, right? Or broadcast room, sorry. It wasn't all recorded either, was it? Yeah, Winnie the Pooh is named after Winnipeg. Nice little circle. I brought it right back because that's where we make coins now, just not pennies. Because for some reason, we were making 1,000 pennies a year per person in this country, every man, woman, and child. And now, if you look it up, the numbers say we were making 10 pennies per year per person. Now that they've cashed them all out, the numbers change. And if you don't know the values, they use the term scrap value, but I'm not talking about destroying the coin. The scrap metal prices, not precious metal prices. There's rare earth metals, precious metals, and then these are fuck, what are these ones called again? They were bronze for like 100 years, and then they switched to electroplated zinc or some shit. But in any event, that's Canada. The U.S. I know they're copper. They're copper. No, they're not. No, they're not. I used to take all the pennies before 1964, put them in a copper pipe, and take it to the scrapyard. Yeah, you can't sell. I have a whole bunch of pieces of pipe with caps welded onto each end, and they weigh 10 times as much as they should. They won't let you. And then the other thing is, you would have got more money for the bronze if you had just treated it as what it is. It's not worth. It wasn't worth as much, but it's heavier. So why were you? Just pure lies. Just pure lies. Everybody tells lies. I've heard so much bullshit in my life. The only thing, this shield thing. I don't know, man. I like that. I know somebody. I'm starting to call it the fucking White House because somebody else made a joke about how they misidentified the White House. It's the Lincoln Memorial, right? Isn't it on the back of the other ones? It's that weird shield. And we have the recycling symbol on a shield, and this is just ridiculous. So my building is coated in 2 inches of styrofoam, which is perfectly fine and normal. And a lot of houses have this shit inside the walls too. Yeah, it's no different than the others. It's insulation, but it's a solid sheet instead of fluffy fiberglass shit. There's no fibers to come off. If you expose it to sunlight and it breaks down nice and slow, it's releasing all sorts of chemicals. If it's painted over or whatever the fuck they do with it, then it should be fine for a long time. But it holds in the heat and holds it out in the summer. If your ventilation system's running, if they keep turning off. The problem is it's flammable. And they got crap piled up against the side of the building in ways. I can see fire hazards here, there, and everywhere. So they walk by and throw a cigarette in that barrel, it'll light up the entire building. It'll light up the entire building. There's a 55-gallon drum next to the wall. And the way the wall projects, there's nothing on either side of it. There's a driveway, there's a parking lot, and there's styrofoam all the way around it. Yeah, it'll just go right up. And then the whole building will go up, and then it'll go sideways. It'll go up and then sideways. You won't be able to put it out. You won't be able to put it out. You'll have to evacuate that building because of this one. Yeah, remember, these people sit in this building with the air turned off all fucking day thinking they aren't getting sick. Right. And then even if they think deep enough into it, even if they were to think deep enough into it, they get mad when they realize I'm not getting sick and dropping dead, but they are getting sick. This is why I don't have sympathy for people. You ask these people how I react when these motherfuckers drop dead and get dragged out in the coroner's wagon. Oh, life is precious and death is divine. But you, sir, are a piece of crap. And we need to flush this toilet. Thank you. That is loud as fuck. That's not supposed to be that loud. Shouldn't be able to hear that from over here. Oh.
Real hard in the kitchen with the net that's breaking to the real hard. Bitch, I hustle real hard. Bitch, you hustle real small. Bitch, you hustle once a week. Bitch, I'm flipping Rick Roll every day. Grinding hard, grinding big, you grinding small. 38 revolver blows. Don't watch me fucking kill them all. I'll be down to kill a dog. Burn him with my fucking blow. Once he dead, go find his bitch. Stop flirting with his fucking hoe. Working with this fucking hoe. I'll be on my fucking shit. Roll like a revolver. Take 6 shots, you dead, ain't need a clip. I got a lifetime. I know that it's still true. I got a lifetime. I know that it's still true. I got a lifetime. I know that it's still true. 38 talk much, never lie, you won't hesitate to pop one. Got hollows by the bag, try to stop one. Fuck around and catch a hot one from a shotgun. I'm a hot one, what your bitch say? Flow hard, stay sharper than a switchblade. You the bitch made, man I make bitches. Triple R, I ain't fucking with no fake bitches. Real recognized.
I have the only functioning payphone in the whole fucking neighborhood. I'm not joking. You see how people take things. You attack us. My boys slip the fuck out like I do in the middle of the night. I know what's going on. You go out of your way to not let us compete at all. That's not on, off, on, off. That's a burst of 5. And that's just a single on, off. Keep it up. Keep it up, Shamo. Every time I look towards the screen, do that. Every time my face turns towards the screen, do that. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up, Chomo. Every time my face comes to here. Keep it up, Chomo. I'm going to keep repeating it till you fuck off. Keep it up. Keep it up, Chomo. Every time I turn to here, I'm staring at your mouth through the screen, you fucking retard. We don't just have stalkers, we have fucking retards for stalkers. This idiot's mad that I didn't get scared that you can see me on a video I know I'm making. Whatever trouble he's been getting in lately, he stopped screaming goof and snitch at me. Okay. You had a visit from the internet police, didn't you? Is that why you disappeared for 3 days and came back, Chomo? Did they take your cell phone down to the station or something? What's your dumb ass think? Oh, blew over.
I don't know when this shit is gonna end.
Way to the top. I'm just getting some of my videos.
That I feel it getting to me. Yeah, it's getting to me. Yeah, it's getting to me. Yeah, it's getting to me. Yeah, just feel it in me. I'ma buy the whole team. Might just throw up some green. Got some red on Supreme. It's the 4th nosebleed. Swim my patience to eat. Empty looking drippy. Haunting to a degree. Catch some guap that's a grease. Hold the guap like a beam. Cause it's evil to see. Burning bridges we need. Fuck it, we don't need these. Fuck it, we don't need these. We've been getting so much guap on the block non-stop. I don't know when this shit is gonna end. On the way up to the top, I'm just getting so much guap that I feel it getting to me. Yeah, it's getting to me.
Oh, and that's the other reason I flipped the fuck out about people telling me off about wearing my drum suit. The Wally, right? The color orange, right? Right. I can tell them straight to their face what I am. They don't want to hear it. In their head, I must be this and that and this and that. And he's one of those. Yeah, they say horrible things about people.
Welcome to Sputnik, still orbiting the world, even in the time of the coronavirus, with me, George Galloway. It's a slimmed down version, of course. Gayatri's at home on her maternity leave, but we
are you recording audio?
And I hope
because that's what it's all
some
about.
Glorious views, insights into the raging issues of the day. None more raging, of course, than the coronavirus pandemic. The last time I interviewed one of the leaders of Britain's Prison Officers Association, we more or less
speak English better than
that
English.
One of the most dangerous places to be in the country was in jail because of the rising levels of crime, violence against officers,
the rising levels of crime,
absolute inability to rehabilitate.
What's that got to do with how bad? No,
because of the shortage of resources.
That makes it
and
bad
of course,
to stay out on the street.
And prospects that the members of the POA had to endure. Well, that was then. This is now.
Yeah, we just had our audio cut. I told you Chomo was here.
Yes, nigga. Word thing, nigga. Be slim. Be out here. Don't get close, nigga. We the critics, the shooters behind light. She's the white light, the 70s and 90s. So don't sleep, no, nigga. We are what? Don't matter who it is, bound to get the job done. We the critics, got the shooters behind light. She's the white light, the 70s and 90s. So don't sleep, nigga. We are what? Don't matter who it is, bound to get the job done. On the same stage, running with the same clip. Never gonna change, no, nigga. Only change hoes and the cool, but only if it's fucking up. Play some aim and niggas above the button. Hard in the paint, no catch a fucking no. Repack your clip, that to get our shit up. Rack it up together.
So these people do everything possible to kill everything around me and me, and then when I point out what it is they're doing, they go, "Oh no, I don't know anything about that. You need oxygen. I can't understand how you could need oxygen. Diggers don't breathe. Obviously, you don't feel pain." There's that. I pointed out to them. They get defensive mad lie. Everything dies, whatever. Show the proof. They go, "Oh no." Then they're mad, upset. Then they get this lost. You ever see a human being lost? There's like a connection over here that breaks, and they're lost. These people get fucking pissed off that I told them step by step along the way what they were doing, knew, and what they didn't make me sick. People do this all the time. They do it to old people all the time. Spit in their faces, cough around them, all sorts of things, because the person just dies. So once you're dead, you're just gone. I know people think, oh, this will happen and that'll happen and this. No, you're just gone. I know because the people, I have a list, a top 200 list of people to kill, and they keep dropping dead without me doing anything, and nobody notices that they're gone, except for me. No one's going to fucking miss you. That's all I got to say about that. People want to play that game over there. It's 2,453.
Yes, nigga. Word thing.
I know, I could fucking turn the radio back. We'll do that in a second. It's 15 and a half o'clock.
Word thing. Be slim.
Keep it cracking.
Don't get close, nigga. We the critics, got the shooters behind light. She's the white light, the 70s and 90s. So don't sleep, no, nigga. We are what? Don't matter who it is, bound to get the job done. We the critics, got the shooters behind light. She's the white light, the 70s and 90s. So don't sleep, nigga. We are what? Don't matter who it is, bound to get the job done. On the same stage, running with the same clip. Never gonna change, no, nigga. Only change hoes and the cool, but only if it's fucking up. Play some aim and niggas above the button. Hard in the paint, no catch a fucking no. Repack your clip, that to get our shit up. Only other option is a stick up. Never a 9 to 5, cause I ain't got no day job. From the slums, little homie, where we play hard. If you don't wanna see the 30-30 when it sprays off. The 20 people walk around 3/8 for the beat. The 40 to lick them down, the max for the UC. Heard niggas saying, but they wanna make traps with us. Before that, didn't even crack to us. Going hard in the booth, this a takeover. Hard in the ground into your face, that's a makeover. 2 and 5 for a Q. The rest profit. Hustle blind state, won't sleep till I knock it. And don't push me, cause I ain't in the top. You're a 12-year-old fool, so I ain't scared if you got it. Y'all got it. Is it me you comparing to? I ain't finished my fair share yet, but I air.
You want to know what's going to get the people in the office all day? And all the dickhead security that's been down there all day, and all these people, all the people that won't wear the face, you want to know what'll get them? Radioactive PCBs. Well, the dust comes across the street and blows up against the side of the building.
Just started, and I ain't talking about no jump shot, brush them off, go
not in my house,
you know the
but in all of theirs.
Didn't think I was capable of 4 or 5 pints on my didn't think I was capable of 4 or 5 pints on
people that send me notices not. Oh, your house smells, and we sent somebody and they said it smells, so it's you. The air comes in and then out. There's no way for you to smell anything in my house. This is how these people got these contracts for these agencies in the building. All these weirdos they pick up off the street and hand it an apartment to. It all happens because of me. What makes them mad? I'm supposed to be complaining and begging them for help. They see me still doing everything on my own the way I was. They're denying me a services I didn't ask for.
Yeah,
officer, would you call that a reputable news source? Would you call that a reputable news source, Mr. Policeman? You should tell these people to shut their fucking mouths, man. You should tell them that every time one of you has tried to fuck me over and catch me by surprise, you got fucking made, didn't you? You should tell them that if you're out here to keep the peace and do your job, it's going to be messy otherwise. The way we do things, it'll keep your resources tied up for a long time. There's the crap right there. Yeah, if he steps over here, away from where he's standing, he'll lose his fucking job. So I'll give a fuck. Pop, fast. Oh, it's legal to sell non-tax cannabis from First Nations? Is it or is it not? The cops will tell you it's not, won't they? I am a First Nation trader who's been completely denied the opportunity to apply for the CERB, even though they told us we could. There's no way for me to apply for it. Yeah, you owe me $8 grand. My mother owes me like a couple $100,000. It's money CAS took. Money all over the place people took. I just made more. You crackheads think you're special stealing money. But you spent it all on crack, didn't you? But the crack dealers spent it on weed. I don't know what just happened there. Are we out the internet again?
Yes, nigga. Rare thing. What up, nigga? Slim.
Don't
care else, nigga.
Like the why you back to 5 like
on the same shit, with the same click, never gonna change, no nigga, only change hoes, and the cool, but only if it's fucking up, place some aim and niggas above the button, working hard in the paint, no time to fucking know, repack the clip, that to get our shit up, every other hot shit, is a sticker, never a 9 to 5, cause I ain't got no day job, from the slug,
man, those are great songs,
play hard, you don't wanna see the 30-30 when it sprays off, 20 people walk around 3
I love visiting up those people, the ones running around trying to rip down what I'm growing. Oh, they get mad. They get mad that I don't say nothing to them for doing it, and more pops up where they rip it down. Ask the whole person what I'm talking about. They'll steal your plants, they'll kill your animals. Move. The whole person next to you is going to start screaming off examples too. And then he's going to point out how all them people died.
You know the cold hurling tracks. Didn't think I was capable. 4-5 pipe on my Harley. Traceable. Didn't think I was capable. 4-5 pipe on my Harley. It isn't traceable. You niggas don't ride something like a flat tire. Hiding the fire at your back, it will be backfire. Cause my gas the same size as a blow dryer. Never true in your raps with some damn liars. Great job, make them spit through a liar. And you don't supply shit, you a buyer.
Said what makes you think there's anyone higher? He said don't think so, you goddamn liars.
You rubber grip tight, no pliers. I gotta take you out, call it quits or retire. The fourth room down, fifth lift them up. Bells don't leave shouts, so I'm switching up. See something like a bus driver still picking up. Got your hands in your pocket, nigga, stick them out. I'm a projects, money's no objects. So we finger fuck max and we contact. Slide in, slide out.
Bus driver.
Down, go. I got rounds at you dumb clowns. You're standing up till I tell them sit down.
Remember, all the worst words you even hear this man say himself. Dumb clown. Dumb clown.
He said, tap the weed, leave the cash. What? I'ma do him dirty, Mad Max, do it, niggas get back. Bitches get snapped and get smacked. Face down when I'm breaking her back. Yo, we got metal like a rap, made a name in rap. I ain't setting it for trap, never. Yo, I'ma need me a backpack, C-O-L-T, carved in my rack. Steel unstolen, stereo scratch on my actions. Stop the madness, I'm reeling up, get it gone. Mad shit, they can't go sleep like I go.
Is there a provincial update today?
Didn't see wrong, nah, run about them clothes. I ain't throwing wrong, but I'm clear blood strong till it drips on my palm. Till it's highly dangerous and known to me arms are dangerous. Sicker than stars, I ain't famous, but I'm a hot star. I'll snap, crack, pop like camera. I'll snap, run, duck, just hide when I let off. Run, man in the mask, man in the act, man with the strap to your man's vision black. With the phone dog and I'll snap, bitches for YG, scroll clap, we clap. Do you come and try me? 70s and 90s, been moving grimy. Blood rush till it's hooked up to the IV. 4 or 5 will stretch you, of course.
Never heard the 45, but the sound of it on the ass alive. And it's a silver western, real weapons all up places. I don't know why you
ain't in the low long talking. Money overflow, back on my bullshit. These punks that I grew with, acting like they're too sick. Too no cash making me ever suicide. Or battle to the chase, almost get my guns fried. My mind's fried. See, I don't give a fuck. Sticking with a YG, guarantee we hit them up. Take a nigga slut. Man, you know me, never look back since my first pack in 03. Nigga, unless I get busy with these OGs, screaming Southside, outside, all the police. Fucked up when I nipped 1.5 a piece. Snakes and then cop chops. Now you owe me 10 J's. Till I go to sleep. Till you for the ABK, the marksman, super fun. What the fuck's a murder one? Bad news if you run into the DBS. All I do is give one nod, then he breathes the tech. Then he breathes the tech. All I do is give one nod, then he breathes the tech. We the Canadians are the shooters behind.
I need to know how many millimeters of rain fell. People won't tell us that. They won't tell us barometric pressure, rainfall, ultraviolet light. They don't mention anymore. They used to always tell us how much ultraviolet light there was, and you need to buy some copper tone. And this story coming up next in business or science. Scientists have proven that copper tone causes skin cancer. They don't get that vitamin D, right? Oh, except down by the lake where it'll be cooler. Oh, and it's a cloudy day, so you won't get any UV. Wait, what? This one nonstop bullshit thing after another. They wonder why they get sick. They get the worst diseases.
Communication screw-ups at Halliburton First Nation leave blueberry pickers in the dark about herbicide spraying and hundreds of gallons of blueberries onto the eat. I'm Glenn Wheeler, and this is Mi'kmaq Matters, a podcast about Mi'kmaq people, politics, land, and water.
What would a wild animal do or a caveman? Right, you wouldn't even know it was riding out. Maybe I got that shark gene, and when it pops out, a new one rows and rows.
Thank you for supporting Mi'kmaq Matters through Patreon or email funds transfer.
Coming up right in time for sports.
I'm over here fucking with TF Traffic in Florida. I'm gonna fuck with man. Drinking his telephone. Hey, fuck y'all. Hey, my arm hurts. How you doing? Bro.
I knocked my fish tank thermometer into the tank. No, it didn't break, unless it's full of mercury. It took me till just now to think of using the fish net to get it. But guess what? The fish net's this big, the tank is this big. I have to let the water dry the fuck out for a month to get that out of there. I can still see it. It fell on its side, facing the blast. Like I can still read the thermometer.
My people, it was right behind, and then no nigga pulling up in no new rave. It was cool to the gang raid. Now these tough guys just never act right. Blood can fill a whole bathtub. Let these blood brothers get baptized. Blacklisted on the bad guy. Put some dark skin, so I'm the black guy. Never see me like black ice. We still pack cannons at shack sites.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned about the mercury as what was in the paint on the numbers and markings, because it all wore off. That's in my fish now.
I ain't trust anybody that'll walk around. Rock kind, only reason that they popping out. Niggas skins on my shoes like crocodiles. They know they fucking with me like a crocodile. Gang. killing that
They
shit
want
that you never
the
been a
rainwater
part
off
of.
the roof to run down into the septic
One
sewer.
person goes hot for the city, got a mainstream level. Talk about the top of that's product. So make
Water from the air conditioner, all that, they want to go in the septic sewer. So if the septic sewers overflow all the time and flow into the storm drains, basically. And then they use tap water for their plants, animals, fish, all that shit. And they complain that everything dies all the time. These people treat pets, kids, and plants like it's something you buy, like a TV set. I'll just get a new one. People will sit and bitch on their porch, like every opportunity they get. They got like a 10-minute spiel about some tree. You're looking at the tree, you can't figure out why they got a beef with this tree.
Type of strap you may need to get rid of me. Really take headshots. So who's guillotine? You ain't all really banging these streets. Got heat from the west, but I'm banging the east, nigga. Crip,
I used to see saplings everywhere. Now I don't.
A gang that you never been a part of. I put that on my mother and I put that on my daughter. If you just one of my brothers,
they're small enough you can pull them up real quick and put them in dirt.
You ain't got to ask Biggie Smalls who shot him. I got a Biggie pump that
a one liter milk carton, like a 16 in the crate, you leave it outside.
Now I hit the club till the bartender top up. It's locks well so for lock, you'll get shot up. Now I hit the club till the bartender top up. It's locks well so for lock, you'll get shot up.
They don't like it. They get used to the light coming from one side and they still go straight. They rotate tree saplings, they get all fucked up because they can't figure out what's happening. They used to find maple saplings everywhere. I brought them in here and they died. They don't like, they like to go dormant for the winter and they can't do that inside. They dry the fuck out and die.
Yeah, we real for the street niggas, man.
The hope of one man.
From a rural area, and he's aware that women are competing with men. That's why he lets us work in the tourism industry.
After setting up the tents, the women help the chef. They barely take a break. The tourists get only the best treatment. At this high altitude, they're served a nutritious 4-course dinner, including fresh trout served with avocado salad. The next morning, the tourists set out for the next campsite, while the porters stay behind to pack everything up: luggage, tents, and cooking gear. It's a tough job, but it provides them an income and allows them more independence from the men.
2.5-minute fucking delay on that.
The mountain trek to Machu Picchu takes 3 days. During that time, the porter's children are being looked after back home by their grandparents.
Hold on. What's that got to do with your trip up the mountains? Hold on. Just in case you're wondering about these,
before we stayed home, and all we could do was sell vegetables, which earned us hardly anything. But now, thanks to this opportunity,
it's highly suspect, but it seems to run in a family.
And that's good. And it's also benefiting our children.
Those same grandparents raised these parents.
The tourists struggle with the lack of oxygen up here in the mountains.
Oh shit, that's what the
This old Incan path rises to an altitude of 3,500 meters. Having grown up here, Malini, Dora, and Noemi are used to it.
3,500.
So they easily overtake the visitors. And they get far ahead of them in no time at all. That allows them to set up the tents in advance and have them ready before the group arrives.
Oh, wow. You're staging. Wow. You should try that with everything. Like I should, my cigarettes lined up in sort of a magazine.
The temperatures up here are close to freezing.
Same with the joints. I should
but that
start
doesn't
on
seem
that
to
right
bother
now.
the
Damn, I had it
porters.
ready beforehand. Yeah, I'm criticizing.
Leandro from Argentina is happy to have managed the first stage. Unbelievable. You give your all and the porters march right past you all the same. Great.
las admira por eso.
In the evening, the porters are introduced. The mountain guide explains that they're now consciously hiring more women to promote greater equality.
If you think I'm following
Here,
a dude up a
Marlene
mountain
earns
or into the
90
woods, you're
euros a
fucked up.
week, which is
You'll
not a
never
bad
get a dollar
wage
out of
for the
us, though.
Peruvian Andes. In the morning, it's -3 degrees Celsius.
Well, you
The
ever
next
see all the
part
animals
will be
running?
the
You
most
notice there's
difficult
no
leg of
animals.
the hike.
Or
Ascending
anything
to
like
the
that.
pass
Yeah.
at
Women have that switch that Mother
4,650
Nature
meters.
sends out the signals with that dude seemed to have lost. We're leaving right now. Why?
Dora
Everything is
Carrillo is
just fucked.
traveling this
you're about
route
to
for
get
the
eaten by a
first
bear
time.
or an earthquake or a
Even though it's
geyser
hard
or
work,
something.
she's very proud to have gotten this job.
Meteorite, something.
Y es lindo caminar.
You never hear about
en
animals
esas
get like
rutas.
aside from the extinction event. You
Hiking
never
on
hear
this
about
mountain
like
path is just
an animal
wonderful.
just standing there looking up and
It's
get
a
hit by a
chance for me
space
to
rock.
see more
Never.
of my
They're never like,
country.
yeah, we found the meteorite.
I never
before
had the
animal got hit by
opportunity
it.
to do this
Goddamn,
before.
You never hear that, do you? No, the animals are gone.
Only
They're
now
like,
as a
oh,
porter.
fuck, I'm getting out of here. They hear it,
While
they
washing
sense
up
it.
after lunch, Marlene explains
see,
just how much things have
Wolf
changed
dogs
in
get
her
all loopy
generation.
and start dancing and going in circles and shit.
Our mothers weren't even
Something
allowed
really
to
good or
go
really
to
bad's about
school.
to happen.
They had to stay at home, wash the clothes and do the cooking, while the men were free to go to school.
So what do the men know?
Fortunately,
Nothing.
today, everyone is equal and we women finally have the same rights.
But they're still denied one right, going to Machu Picchu.
I would have
It's so
rather stay home
crowded,
and
only
cook
tourists
and
are allowed to
200.
continue from here on.
Not
The
over
visitors
here, but I'm
express
saying
their
those are
gratitude
the
to
two
the women.
options. No, I'm
The
pleasant that
hikers pass
school's
on
gonna
an
be to
extra
sit in.
tip for
Then
the
I go
women's
right
hard work. Then it's time to say goodbye.
So homosexuals go to hell and women are dirty.
At 6 o'clock the next morning, the crowds queue up to enter South America's #1 tourist magnet.
Cows. You lost.
The Incas hid their holiest site from the Spanish conquistadors for centuries. Now thousands of tourists pour through the ruins every day. Each group only gets a limited amount of time. The authorities are trying to get control of these masses. More and more are coming. That's why they introduced a maximum number.
Yeah, but you guys, some tourists
The
will just go
problem
for like
is,
6
more
tours
and
in a
more
row.
people want to come.
That's got
So
nothing to
many,
do
in
with
fact,
limiting
that
the
an
number of people.
airport
That's
is
got
being
to
built
do with
next to
getting
the
more
site
people through
with a
there.
4-kilometer-long landing strip.
Backwards. See, you
This
failed
could
math. I
accommodate
told you.
even intercontinental flights. But the question is whether the ancient site of Machu Picchu will be able to cope with all this attention.
You should force them to
Repression
rent
and
flip-flops or
discrimination
sell
are
them.
part of life for
Just
many
sell 'em.
women
Get
around
the
the world.
Ontario
On our new
Trill
Facebook
cord to
channel,
make you some
DW Women,
jail
you'll find
shoes.
stories about those
Sample of
taking a
those over there
stand and
somewhere.
inspiring others to do the
They won't
same.
damage nothing.
DW
You could
Women gives a voice to
beat
the
somebody
women
with
of our
one in
world.
each hand, and there's nothing. There's no mass to them. There's no stiffness.
And that's all from us. As always, do drop us a line and let us know what you thought of the programme. We love hearing from you. Our email address is global3000@dw.com. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, DW Women. See you next week.
How fucking far, man? You got a mailing address for us to write? Like, can we still write? A lot of people would have more access to postal services than
and it's not
social media or whatever.
to decide what's being cut
burning
or
this,
what's
undoing
not
it.
being cut. My name is Jaha
Oh,
Bifure,
that's all the smoke.
and
Thank
I'm
you.
originally from the Gambia, and I am a women's rights activist against female genital mutilation and child marriage. I am also the UN Women's Ambassador for Africa.
I need that. Thank
I came to New York City on Christmas Day. I was 15 years old to marry a man that I had never met. That's when I realized that I wanted to be type 3.
You should come to Canada. You can do
Which
something.
meant
Even the
that
odds
I
are
couldn't have
just a little
sex
better here.
until I was cut back open.
You find a girl and then tell your parents you're already married. And since it's legal in Canada, they can't do anything about it in the country they're in. Hey, that could work out for you. It's everybody now. And cover all your liability. She could get you citizenship status or whatever. Hey, if she's First Nations, you could get to move on, Raz, adopt some white kids, and then they get Indian status at the end of the day.
If you kill or remove any part of anybody's body, it will take as a crime. I think the government can play a big role in stopping FGM.
I started anonymously speaking out around the time that I was pregnant with my daughter. I knew that I don't want my daughter to ever go. You
should have made up a rap.
I also knew that there are millions of girls out there that are just like my daughter. No one is speaking for them. And if it wasn't me, then who else?
Lots of people come. More people come here than anywhere else.
I think we
you
can
only
change.
count certain
we
people.
can change norms in our community. What we need
Drive to come here and
is to get resources to the
brain
ground
compass is
we need
very
to create
strong.
services for survivors. We need to continue educating communities so they understand
Citizenship
how
and immigration and CBSA.
We also need to stop victimizing survivors of FGM.
Every fucking day.
We need to start seeing them as champions of change and know that women and communities are more than capable of bringing.
I think they can physically get here and they can set up a tent and a sleeping bag and a fire. You're good. No, these people, you're not white enough to live in First Nations land. Hey, we have to have a conversation about that one of these days.
As the world continues responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, I want to take a moment to reflect on the importance of flexible funding.
Do that. Flexible funding.
So that goes back to my comments before, where I don't necessarily agree with what's happened. Even the distribution of the vaccine, I think there's some people that should have been prioritized versus just based on age. Like there's people with severe comorbidities, and sort of your point there, Kimberly, ties me into the other point where that last gentleman was saying, like, if we were all just healthier, I'm sure you could agree with this. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you just get unlucky and you're not as healthy as you ideally want to be, because things just happen. I know people who are, you would think are extremely healthy and then all of a sudden get cancer. Like that's nobody's fault. That's the reality of being human. And for people to just say, oh, you know, if you're healthier, you won't have to worry, I think it's so reductionistic, and it's actually insulting, because some people don't make the choice to be unhealthy. They actually make the choice to be as healthy as possible, and bad things still happen. So, you know, and I just want to bring that up because
good Christian values. We don't know how you could die. I'd rather listen to this one talk some more about that.
Health, nutrition, water, sanitation, education, and protection. All of the ingredients that children need to grow and develop. As governments look to reach the
us to tell them what to do. So all these people most voted now kids. If they do have kids, they get rubber stamped ass carte blanche.
Rebuild these systems, which also means that they'll need flexible and urgent support that regular resources can provide. Please help us support countries as they shape better, healthier.
We're picking up a telestream.
La cuisine des bouchons que l'on connaît aujourd'hui, la cuisine des restaurants gastronomiques, celle de Paul Bocuse, celle de la mère Brasier ou de la mère Fiou avant eux.
Votre plat préféré dans tout ce que vous avez déniché?
Ah là, je n'hésite pas une seule minute. C'est une recette qui a 2000 ans qui s'appelle la saumade, qui est un immense plat de cochonaille. On va y retrouver la tête, les pieds, la queue, la poitrine, les côtes salées, les paquets de couenne, les gratons, le cervelas, saucisson à cuire et une andouille sous boutade. Vous imaginez cette recette comme elle est belle?
Ah oui, ça, on l'imagine, Thierry, à l'entendre. Hein, oui. Recette citée par Rabelais dans Pantagruel.
Exactement, et ça me fait penser à un tour de marché à Lyon où nous étions plusieurs chefs avec Paul Bocuse qui nous faisait la visite de ce marché. On avait dégusté évidemment Saint-Marcelin de la Maréchal et puis la saucisson à brioche. Je pense qu'on ne peut pas rêver mieux.
Thierry Marx, l'histoire, c'est bien beau, tous ces plats retrouvés. Mais aujourd'hui, est-ce que c'est toujours un lieu de bien manger, Lyon, forcément?
Oui, non, Lyon reste une grande signature de la gastronomie française. Et puis, je pense que c'est à Lyon qu'on a su préserver la cuisine rurale. Parce qu'on a su préserver les bouchons, et donc un certain nombre de bouchons.
I'm trying to do that. 3 weeks to 4 weeks, I'm hoping things open up, right? You know, like I'm doing so, because it is really frustrating what the politically has happened around us. So
yeah,
thank you.
Snap.
Yeah, thank you, Kimberly. Echo those sentiments too. It's like you said, until the time where you can get everything squared away with the vaccine, and otherwise, we keep saying it on the show, Dr. Lou, healthy lifestyle. I mean, get out there, eating well, vigorous exercise 4 or 5 times a week. It really is a fountain of youth, and fountain of youth meaning not it's going to make you younger, but it's going to allow you to do the things you can do now in your youth longer into your life. That's
domestic and international funding for WASH. We need to join forces to fill data gaps in partnership with national governments. We need new technologies, new ways of working, new business models, and new types of financing. Let's make water, sanitation, and hygiene a daily reality for communities worldwide.
When these white people use those words sanitation and hygiene, they're saying, nigger, get away from me, because you'll make me sick because of the spirit. You know.
We've been dealing with this virus for some time now. We washed our hands like crazy. We stopped playing with our burgers. We kept 2 meters apart, or as I like to think of it, 0.97.
What is that? Because the mucus that comes out of kids' nose that ends up back in their mouth actually builds their immune system.
But sometimes that just isn't real.
It's probably why our nose being directly over our mouth didn't kill us off. It should have, the way you think about it.
Not so great at your local pottery class.
Big spin!
Ma'am, your clay's getting airborne.
It's in my hair.
Play the Bigger Spin Instant Scratch Ticket today. You can win a spin on the Bigger Spin wheel for a guaranteed win up to $1 million. Getting you where you need to go faster. The most traffic in Toronto. 680 News.
It's now time for the 680 News check of regional weather conditions. Looking around the Golden Horseshoe, if you're in St. Catharines, cloudy and 7 degrees. We have similar conditions in Hamilton, but it feels like 5. Doing a quick check here, the Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo area, overcast skies, 4 degrees. Same goes for Milton and Oakville. Taking a look at Brampton and Mississauga, we have cloudy conditions as well, 5 degrees. Same goes for Richmond Hill, but as you make your way to Pickering, overcast and 4. A little bit to the north here, Bradford, overcast and 4 as well. All the way up to Barrie, overcast and 4 degrees as well. Right now in downtown Toronto, we're seeing those cloudy conditions, 5 degrees. Keep in mind, the news watch never stops. 680 News is
And if you're wondering why I'm saving the muffin bags, I'm not. I'm stocking up on dog shit bags.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news.
On dog shit bags.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news. It's Saturday, March 27th. Good afternoon. I'm Zach Bowden Standard. And I'm Alex Bloomfield. Here's what's making news this hour.
China slapped sanctions on individuals in Canada and the U.S., including MP Michael Chong, asking both countries to stop interfering in its internal affairs. Toronto residents 70 years and older can now book their appointments for a COVID-19 vaccine as the province sees more than 2,000
Does that mean that guy was 80?
Reported today. Canadian Blood Services is reassuring the public that blood donations by anyone who has had COVID-19 or has been vaccinated is safe. 2 police officers have injuries and 2 suspects are in custody following a holdup at a middle.
That's the level we're at.
Sheldon Keefe doubles his mind ahead of tonight's Leafs Oilers.
You had a cold once, your blood can't be safe.
Looking good so far at the
Some gay nigger, Jew bastard, Muslim, Muzzy. That's the one that goes with Muzzy. What the fuck is wrong with you? They get the blood from American prisoners. Don't worry. It was no good, they'd be dead.
Brought to you by 407 ETR. We had some troubles on the eastbound 401 at Weston in the Express. Everything has been cleared away and traffic is back up to speed. So, well, actually, it's still slow from the 427 to Weston Express and collectors from what I can see on the cameras. But through that area of Weston in the Express, all lanes vaccines are now getting through. Now, the westbound
I get this idea. There's traffic spotters out there at the side of the road smoking meth, counting the cars go by, calling in to report every 10 minutes.
Also closed for repairs. Northbound Don Valley Parkway, it's already heavy from north of Dawn Mills to York Mills from the looks of it. The Gardner Expressway is in good shape. Eastbound QEW, it's heavy from about Royal Windsor to Ford Drive. Again, pretty typical traffic. 407 ETR remains committed to supporting customers and communities in the GTA throughout the long-term recovery. Learn more at 407etr.com/road to recovery. Your next report is at 12:11. And now with the forecast, good afternoon, Jason Fraser.
Good afternoon, Christina, and good afternoon, everyone. Well, we're seeing lots of clouds in around the GTA right now. We will end up seeing some peaks of some sunshine, and we'll improve in the temperature department by another couple of degrees. Later on tonight, we'll see cloudy skies. Rain will likely move in after midnight, and we'll drop down to 6 degrees. Right now in Pearson, it's 5 degrees. Our guaranteed high, 9 degrees.
680 News Time, 12:02. The Chinese government has announced new sanctions on Canada and the U.S. in response to those countries' sanctions on China for its treatment of Muslim minorities. 680's Caitlin Lee joins us live with the latest. Caitlin.
No, dumbass, this is about the Huawei executive. That's a whole nother ball of shit you're not going to want to deal with, stupid. They haven't even started on that yet.
The chair and vice chair of the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, Canada's Subcommittee on International Human Rights, our Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Development, and Canadian Conservative MP Michael Chong. This is all in retaliation to Canada imposing its own sanctions on 4 Chinese officials over human rights violations against the Uyghur Muslims living in China. Canada taking a stronger stance than it has before.
She didn't know the word Uyghur.
Conservative MP Chong has responded
Real
on
word.
Twitter to his name being on the list. He says he's
That refers to Muslims. She's not sure if she's being set up or not.
Crackdown in Hong Kong and its genocide. We who live freely in democracies under the rule of law must speak for the voiceless.
God must have missed a word there.
Sanctions me, all wear it
Opposite ends of the literal opposite ends of the country.
The government says it is determined to safeguard its national sovereignty, security, and development interests, claiming political manipulation and interference in Chinese internal affairs. While speaking to the CBC this morning, Foreign Affairs Minister Marc Garneau called China bullies, saying bullies don't change unless you send very clear messages to them. Reporting live, I'm Caitlin Lee.
This is the government white boy.
12:04. More Torontonians are getting their shots, and as of this morning, those 70 and older are able to book a vaccination appointment at 4 different clinics, with 2 more opening on Monday. 680's Michelle.
I would subject you to the next 5 minutes of this, but
Ontario's COVID-19 numbers.
Ontario is reporting an increase in cases compared to yesterday, with 2,453 new infections. 35 of those variants of concern. Toronto is seeing the highest number.
35 from 3 weeks ago, you fucking moron. Wow. You are fucking stupid. That means 35 out of 1,000 or some shit.
Now is the time to do it with appointments available with vaccines.
It doesn't apply to today's number. No matter what today's number is, the variant count comes from 3 weeks ago.
Those appointments are available to book now for those 70 years and older at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre, Toronto Congress Centre, Scarborough Town Centre, and East York
Christy
Town
Pitts
Centre.
race riots, Bonnie Beach Swastika Club,
Recreation Centre and Mitchell Field Arena will be
Saskatchewan KPT.
I'm Michelle Morton.
How's that going? I haven't heard nothing from you on Facebook.
Canadian Blood Services says COVID-19 is a respiratory virus and cannot be transmitted through blood. 680's Madison Fitzpatrick has more on concerns of those who have had the virus or received a vaccine donating their blood.
Canadian Blood Services says it has managed to keep a constant supply going throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Spokeswoman Chantel Pembroke says the requirement...
That was the wrong answer. You're supposed to say we treat all the blood that we take in.
The public that blood from people who have had COVID.
What about all the diseases you could get from blood? What do you do about those? No, but you see the line of questions it opens up?
There's no impact to the blood as far as transmission to a patient. But from a safety profile of the products we're collecting from the donors, there isn't a concern.
Pembroke says all of the vaccines approved so far will have no effect on people receiving transfusions. However, individuals who are not feeling well after receiving the vaccine or COVID-19 patients still under care are not eligible to donate.
Chicken DNA for some reason.
You're with 680 News at 12:06. And while COVID-19
the mainstream, the government-funded media satirized vaccines 20 to 25 years ago. Like, this is not. You guys aren't old enough to remember that.
Hamilton will be joining Kiel and Toronto in the gray zone. That zone will look a little different, with hair salons and other personal services allowed to reopen effective April 12th. Outdoor fitness classes in those zones will also be able to resume.
It's April 12th, you know, because it's the 12th.
Pushing it up just a little bit.
But some
What is the fucking 12th? Yeah, and that's the other thing. You know, we can't put our finger on exactly what day it is.
Should be taking the alert status more seriously. As ICU bed counts continue to climb close to Ontario's peak of 420 from mid-January.
What I do know is that the only
They
thing
used to list all sorts of weird facts that aren't true about cigarette butts. Guess what? They're made of cotton and they rot in 6 weeks. Oh yes, they do. Cigarette butt litter is a big problem in Toronto. Dispose of your butts properly. There's garbage bins that have a hole in the side. You're supposed to walk up and stick the butt into the hole.
Israel residents are preparing to hold large family gatherings.
You're still saying needle law, and you keep saying BIPOC instead of black. I don't give a fuck about your music. Dispose of your butts properly. Yeah, the fucking garbage cans have like a hole in the side. You're supposed to throw your cigarette butt in. It just drops down to the bottom. That's the Toronto solution. So if we all actually did that, you'd have garbage fires every fucking night. Remember, dispose of black plastic in the garbage. Why? Because it's black. We can go back to that page too. Black plastic of any kind is not accepted in the city's recycling program. Not in recycling. It says that there are two main reasons for this. There is no stable end market for the amount of black plastic generated in Toronto. I'm slightly confused by that because you claim there's stable end markets for the rest of it, but there's not because they were just selling it to China to burn. They don't melt it down and make new stuff. They never have. And the second reason, black plastic cannot be sorted mechanically at the recycling facility. Hey, neither can any other type of plastic. Someone still has to look at the fucking numbers on it and shit. Everything has to be hand sorted. One piece of PVC will send back an entire truckload of recycling. The Nuclear Energy Canada Inc. community newsletter. Oh, here we have the Epoch Times trying to scare everybody about China. And not talking about what the Canadian government's doing to piss China off. Oh, happy Canada Day. I forgot I stuck that there. There we go. I stuck that there. I forgot I had that. You'll see these taped up in the windows all over. It's one of it's the one newsletter. They send out 4 newsletters a year from the local member of parliament. The one you get just before Canada Day looks like that. They're taped up in windows everywhere. It doesn't cost you anything. Fuck, that's a Canada flag. I'll take that up. Let's duct tape right to the glass. Condensation be damned. Goes to landfill or gets burned. And when you put it with plastic and metal, there's another waste right there. We need like, if this is United Nations TV, we need UN TV 2.
The bigger concern I have, what happens when manufacturing decides to pack up and leave and go to other jurisdictions, or when we have electricity costs that are too prohibitive, including energy costs. So manufacturing, farming,
they ain't got no money either. There's nowhere to live when you get there.
These carbon taxes, many of them will fail. That's especially for drying their grains, and of course the energy sector itself, which is Canada's #1 largest export. That could be out the window too. We're heading for some pretty tough times post-pandemic.
Wow. Way to shackle our buzz this morning with one headline. There's a lot behind that headline.
What?
There is, and of course, if I can predict gas prices 2 or 3 days from now, not that predicting what's going to happen as 10 years from now, because these things are very much set in stone. So all the Supreme Court has done today is allow the federal government to continue doing that. As I mentioned earlier, the federal government campaigned on saying no more than $50 a ton and no clean fuel standard. We now have both, and if they win a majority, I'm pretty sure they're going to proceed with that. Brace your impact, folks.
Okay, I want to turn our attention to something that was making headlines yesterday. It's just that it's that a massive container ship. It's almost as big as the CN Tower. It's hard to even conceive a container ship that big, but it is stuck in the Suez Canal sideways.
Stupid she is.
About 1 million
These
barrels
ships
of
are the
oil
small
pass through the
ones,
Suez Canal
so
on a
they fit
normal
in the
day, and the
canal.
backlog of delayed deliveries is
This is the
already
smallest
causing
of the
the price of
container
oil to spike. If they don't move that ship
They don't need to go
in the
look
next
it
few
out.
days,
They don't
what's
make
going to
it that
happen at
small.
the
They make
pumps?
it big.
Well, so we have a 4 cent a liter increase coming tomorrow. So it's $1.18.9. It's going to be 122.9. There's some debate in the market as to whether or not this is such a big deal. We could actually see a 2 cent a liter decrease on Saturday if the markets hold up right now. But the longer this goes on, of course, it creates a disruption in an important choke point for the delivery of hydrocarbons, especially to Europe. But as luck again would have it, Europe is going to lockdown. The third wave, this variant, is now that Germany in partial lockdown. Italy, France have already gone in that direction. So that means that there's a perception that not right now, but down the road, there's going to be a problem with oil and gas in terms of delivery as well as
For what though?
supply.
Nobody's
So
making nothing
this
of
is
it.
sort of
Nobody's
just a hiccup along the way.
buying
A
it.
very
You're
serious
tearing
one.
down, supposedly,
I've seen
all
the Suez Canal up
fossil
personally
fuels,
close.
power
I don't think they're going to move that thing anytime soon unless they start taking off those containers, and that, of course, will require a bit of a logistical issue. But for now, prices will likely go up and down for the next several days until we actually get the next
unstacking the Lego blocks one at a time?
Increase. And then, of course,
Is that what you meant? Because they could have started that last week. When this happened, Tuesday, Monday, last Friday, some shit.
4.5 cents. I'll stick with what you and I talked about
200
several
ships
weeks
back
ago.
up.
I think we're still going to see $1.40 a liter for gasoline throughout much of the late spring, early summer here in Toronto.
Of course,
All right,
that's
well,
not
hopefully a
based
lot
on
of people
the
are still going to
oil
be
price.
working
And the oil
remotely and they
price
can
isn't
save
based
money on
this. It's the
gas
only
there.
part he got correct.
Is the takeaway a fill up today?
I think you want to fill up today just to be certain. $1.18.9. I doubt you're going to see that for at least another week or so if we're lucky. And the bottom falls out as the demand picture continues to be clouded by the COVID variant. But that's probably the only saving grace we have right now. Otherwise, these prices are set to skyrocket. It's not a matter of if, it's really a matter of when.
Why don't you have
Dan, I
rail
really
lines
appreciate your insight into exactly what that Supreme Court ruling headline entails as far as we're concerned and the future of business in Canada is concerned. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, tough times ahead. Thanks so much, Kelly.
This week, longtime NHL ref Tim Peel lost his gig a month before retiring because of a hot night. Is he the victim of cancel culture, or is there more at play
That's not
here?
a thing, eh?
That's coming up next.
All these
on the
white
Kelly
people in the
Contreras
media.
Show.
Oh, cancel culture. What are you talking about? People not being required to listen to your dumbasses?
This is an oxygen concentrator. An oxygen concentrator takes in air from the environment, removes the nitrogen, and produces a continuous source of concentrated oxygen for delivering oxygen therapy.
So why can't we
Oxygen
do
therapy
that
is important for treating respiratory illnesses such as pneumonia or COVID-19, for supporting patients that are having difficulty breathing. In order to deliver therapy, you need an oxygen delivery device such as this nasal cannula to connect the patient to the oxygen source. A nasal cannula is a simple tube that ends in nasal prongs that are inserted into the nostrils and deliver the flow of
Where all the
oxygen
mucus
to the
is, that's
patient.
good. Not
When
covering
these
the mouth
supplies
that
are
they will be
delivered to
inhaling through to try to
they will
stay
be
alive,
distributed to
which
medical
has no
facilities where
filtration
trained
system.
healthcare
Right.
providers have what they need to provide oxygen therapy to patients suffering from
Pretending to
COVID-19
be
or
stupid.
other respiratory illnesses like pneumonia.
These people are constantly, whatever they do things on purpose to try to hurt me. They pretend to be stupid. They go over and above to act dumb. The x-ray technician, oops. The blood technician, oh, I didn't know it was a vacuum. Whoa. pretend to be stupid, but right after they just told me they were going to hurt me on purpose. And by the way, I know most anybody that's heard me talk about this already knows, if you're not stupid, you are racist. Remember, the initial accusation was racism. You're doing it on purpose. Let's start calling you stupid because I want to hear you defend how you do know what you're doing. I don't really care.
Hello, I'm Yuki Mokuo, UNICEF representative in Lebanon. I'm at the warehouse in Beirut where health supplies that we have procured are being prepared to be distributed to communities in Lebanon.
Boxes to put the
From
needles
here,
in. Yeah, and then
we are
what?
delivering supplies like soaps and bleach to help the vulnerable communities and the families who are living in very difficult and overcrowded settlements. We also distribute items like gloves, masks, thermometers for hardworking health workers at the primary healthcare centers. This is a sample of our work in this difficult COVID
You
times.
don't work in healthcare if you
We
can't
also
pronounce
contribute
thermometer. No, you don't.
disseminating massive information to help.
For adults with developmental disabilities, join in fun activities like cooking, art, yoga, dance parties, and more. Visit kohai.ca for details. And donate online at newcircles.ca to New Circles Community Services to help local GTA families in need. For more events and fun things to do, visit 640toronto.com and click Your GTA.
This Sunday morning on Your Life, Your Money, the drawdown era. As boomers shift away from accumulation to decumulation, they will change their investing habits, which means a huge shift of assets in the next 5 years. So now is the time for your financial advisor to take an in-depth look at your investments and how to protect them. Join Calvin the Money Guy with Chris Creston this Sunday morning at 9. And for advice anytime, go to AskKelvin.ca. That's AskKelvin.ca.
Yeah, you kid. That's how far they. Sort
Now
of from
back
here.
to the Kelly
No, it's
Contreras
not.
Show
It's
weekend
not the same
on the
everywhere.
Global News Radio 640 Toronto.
Earlier this week, Rick Zamperin joined the show to talk through some sports headlines. I asked him to speak to the importance of an all-female broadcast crew that handled the Raptors-Nuggets game on Wednesday.
It almost was interesting. It was almost interesting, bastards. Well, if there is a news conference, we'll find out. I don't know Not it's going to help anybody to hear what they have to say.
Yeah, we got the greatest flow, sipping on that medicine. You know we got that medical. Rating the young hood, nigga with some wood. Rating the young hood, young hood, young hood. This is for my haters up. Yeah, we got the greatest flow, sipping on that medicine. You know we got that medical. Rating the young hood, nigga with some wood. Rating the young hood, nigga with some wood. This is for my haters up. Yeah, we got that greatest flow, sipping on that medicine. You know that shit is medical. Rating the young hood, some hooligans.
Mission boy, these rappers be tripping. Shit used to be cold, now I'm cooking in the kitchen. Rights, left, sunny, lifting, lane switching, steady dipping. I'm not here to play. I've been walking through hell, I'm not here to stay. You asking what I'm burning? Smoking Mumbai, and who are they? A bunch of haters with nothing so good to say. OC, MTL, mark this on your log. We bringing so much smoke, the streets catching all the fog. I ain't a crow, this my job. Fire behind the power, I'll devour like the mob.
Oh, in my mind, I'm just thinking of burning off all the waste from the blow-up. Yeah.
I'm chilling in the shadows, playing for battle, a kid to travel and dance, skedaddle.
Well, we're not going to learn anything today, I already know. I'll learn something, it just won't be from all this.
This money, then I'll be pulling that AC.
Yeah, we got the greatest flow, sipping on that medicine. You know we got that medical. Rating the young hood, nigga with some hooligans. Rating the young hood, Nigga, we some hooligans. That is for my haters, though. Yeah, we got that greatest look. Whipping on that medicine, you know that shit is medical. Red and black, y'all want some hooligans. Red and black, y'all want some hooligans. Man, I be grinding, I'm on my grind, bro. And I be smoking on that killer that be that high, yo. Hood famous nigga, yeah, you know we getting high, yo. Smoking on that purple, cause I don't fuck with that lean, though. Oh my god, killing shit like my name is Zod. Superman flying high like I'm in the fucking clouds. Red and black, got my back, rolling pin straight up out the pack. And my O's are Cheerios. Just some silly hoes, playing just like hooligan.
Look, I'm the last of the dying breed. Twin hammers look like the Siamese. I got that beam from the Japanese. My French girl wavy can remind me of mac and cheese. It is what it has to be. I'm killing out who's after me. They have to see we rich, and I swear it wasn't financially. Like who we frontin' for? They flying like there's a trampoline. These bitches couldn't marry a guy. There was a Magdalene. My strap like a little bro with Tagalog. It's these instrumentals we got be bragging on. It's rose with beer bro class riches we drag them on. The nigga with the gate and Sega, but they were dragging on. The Megatron landing in Lebanon. We was slapping that back and forth with a tether bar. Used to live on Fletcher Street, right in the Esplanade. Bitches run the strip and make us film it like espionage. You know that's why they set for it. Like why you niggas ain't pretend it's all music. Baby, where we go on tours, it's all music. Baby, where we go on tours, I gotta shoot it. Nigga, if you talk that talk, you gotta do it. Why they try me? I wear my heart on my iron sleeve. I'm the last of a down breed. Why they try me? I wear my heart on my iron sleeve. I'm the last of a.
Yeah, I'm the last of a dying breed. I uppercut these fucks in their check. Forgot to get struck. I brought the gasoline. I've never lost. I got OGs to get it back for me. Call me down, call me the crown, call me your Messi God. They try to handle me, lot. No, I don't play that. The bullets in that gray Mac A-track. They go way off your mark. Like where the safe at? Put numbers on your head. You already covered in face tats, boy. One hopscotch in the spots where the first just shootings. Drive-bys.
Why they try me,
But the big mob people and but the big mob people and but the big mob people and but the big mob people and